Right. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this episode is gonna be like a sort of a special edition commemorating my 6 months on the road. So as I already announced on my social media, I've been traveling for now 6 months. My trip started back on the 15th of November, when I started in Kenya, because obviously I left also a bit earlier, because I had to go to from Malta to Turkey and Turkey to Nairobi. So since then I have covered 15,000 kilometers, obviously on a period of 6 months. So when you divide that by 6 months, actually 15,000 kilometers is not really much. But I wanted to actually enjoy my trip in a way and having enough time to rest. I'm also doing some missionary work, which I have to visit some projects supported by Missio Malta, but also sometimes by Missio Rome. So that also I need time for those things. I also need time to edit my videos for social media. I need to sort my videos, because all this material will be used back home by Missio for TV purposes. Well, and obviously there were other issues that happened along the way, which prolonged my stay in certain countries. So just to start with, when I was in Kenya, I've been to Nairobi twice. So the first time was when I just arrived and I had to release the bike from the customs. Second time is when I was waiting for some stuff to come from home. So that was like almost a week there, which prolonged my stay in Kenya. Then leaving Kenya to Uganda, I was sick with severe diarrhea. And also while in Uganda, I suffered a hamstring tear and COVID. So COVID prolonged also my stay in Uganda. From Uganda I went to Tanzania. Tanzania was okay, no issues. From Tanzania I went to Malawi. I think Malawi was the best place so far in terms of riding. I enjoyed it very much. The only downside that it was at the period it was raining. Then from Malawi I went into Mozambique. Unfortunately, Mozambique, I had to cut it short. So those who are following me, they know that there was also the cyclone coming. So when I was there, Mozambique was hit by the cyclone, especially the northern part. Then I discovered that my rear sprocket was badly consumed. So all that had to be changed from the rear and also the chain. And also this happened when I tore my biceps on my way to Beira. So all in all, the urgency basically was the rear sprocket. So from there I moved into Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was cool. I had also a good time. I enjoyed my stay in Zimbabwe. And then from Zimbabwe I moved to Zambia. And Zambia, I also unfortunately had a crash, which the video has to come out very shortly. I'm still recovering. Unfortunately, it has been now 2 weeks since the injury. Yesterday I went to the physiotherapist, so she treated me with acupuncture and some massage. I feel sore today, but definitely much better. So now I am in Namibia. I am in very close to Windhoek, in a place called Dobra. It's a nice place here where I'm staying. Namibia, it's a nice place. It's very cool, very neat. At the moment it's cold here, it's getting cold. Even the mornings are really cold. Temperature drops down to around 8 degrees. At the moment it was around 22-23 degrees, so it's not really that hot as it used to be. For me it's quite comfortable, but honestly this morning I had to close my zippers, and honestly I would have enjoyed also having like something underneath, because I was actually feeling cold. Even my hands, I'm wearing summer gloves, so I don't know what I would be doing for next ride. But anyway, so Let me talk about also a bit my mental status, and also about my perceptions and expectations about this trip. So when I started, I was really much excited. You know, it's something big, something that I've been dreaming about doing it for a long time. Many people just dream about it and they never manage to do it. So it's not an easy thing when you have to leave everything behind. So anyway, but here I am, as I said, 6 months down the line. Well, I think, though it's a nice experience, I think I'm not actually getting what I was looking for. You know, African countries are big, they're also beautiful, there is a lot to see, a lot of nature, but all that beauty is basically you have to pay for it. So, okay, you see some on the road, I mean, but you end up getting used to it like anything else in life. So there is a limited amount of time for me to keep just seeing things repeating themselves. So if you want to really see the wildlife, you have to go to the parks. And the parks, especially when you're on a motorbike, you can't just go in. So you have to pay for that. So most people, that's why the reason they come to Africa. I think that's in my opinion, and that's what you mainly read on the internet. Obviously, there is like more to see. The point is like the distances are long, and sometimes you have to go into, not sometimes, most of the times you have to ride off-road. So, okay, off-road is nice, but people think that when you go off-road, you're going to see something different, which unfortunately is not the truth. Here, when you ride off-road, especially when things are really dry, and there is some vehicles on the road, you actually see nothing. It becomes so dangerous. It happened to me in Uganda when I crashed. There was a vehicle before me, it was pulling up dust, I couldn't see the road, there were two rats, I went into one, and there I crashed. So, you know, it's not always like that case. Now, for me, honestly, especially when there is the loose stuff, I'm never easy on it. Unfortunately, I get also tense, so I know it's not a good thing. Yeah, but you have to be very, very careful, because you know, there are many things on the road apart from the surface. The gravel, there could be holes, rats, sometimes there are animals crossing the road, could be any kind of animal. Sometimes people, you know, in some roads people don't expect you to come, so they are there just walking, and people just come from the side. So obviously you have to be extremely careful. So for me, I get a bit tensed when I'm riding on these roads. And again, here in Namibia, the population is very small, and if you're not on the main roads, it would be very hard to find someone to help you out. So that's also a concern that I have. Unfortunately, if right now I have a flat tire, in my condition I cannot actually change the tire. I need help. You know, so with this arm, I'm weak because my biceps are detached, and here it's painful, so I can't do much pushing and pulling, unfortunately. So this is something that is always a concern to me. So in a way, mentally, I think now also loneliness sometimes kicks in. I'm a person that I can stay lonely, but I discovered that I need also now to start mingling a bit, making some new connections, staying a bit longer with people, especially when there is some life. So whenever possible, when it's weekend, I am trying to stay in a town where there is something, at least a bar, something's going on. No, like now I'm close to Windhoek. I'm going to spend the weekend there. Then from there on, I don't know, because as I said, Namibia, it's a big country, and the villages are actually very small. So yes, okay, I'm trying to keep myself how can I say, sharp, and try to be motivated, but it's not that easy. I mean, for me, maybe it sounds strange, but I get bored on these long roads where nothing actually happens. Nothing happens, you know, and nothing changes for like a long time. So for me, it's also dangerous, because I start also sometimes losing. I don't ride long because I also start having lower back pain, and also my butt gets numb. You know, my seat is a bit also on the stiff side. So yeah, those are the challenges that I'm facing, both mentally and both physically. So you know that I had basically 3 injuries: my hamstrings, my left biceps, and now also my right shoulder. But so far so good. I cannot complain much. So yeah, talking about the bike is honestly running good, you know, not much, no problems at all, honestly. The issue that I had with that chain roller, it seems that it was like all that work was unnecessary, because I think there's nothing wrong now with the bike. The only issue that I have at the moment is like it's leaking oil from the clutch side, so that is going to be addressed this week. Tomorrow I'm going to visit the mechanic here in Windhoek, and I should also now change tires. Okay, Mitas, I'm running on Mitas EO7 Enduro, excellent tires. You know, I found them really good both on tarmac and also on off-road. They did now over 15,000 kilometers. The front tire is still in a very good condition, so I'm feeling sorry that I have to change it, but I'm changing to a new set of tires, a bit more with knobbies. Now this area, Botswana as well, and later on South Africa, I am planning to ride more off-road, so I need some good tires with knobbies. So now it's time to do the third service. It's not really needed, but because we are going to open the engine to fix the oil seal, so I'm going to change the oil. So this is the third service that I'm doing. Well, I just checked the brakes are still in good condition. So yeah. So what else? Yeah, what I'm finding really not happy much with is the suspensions, the front suspensions. I have upgraded the suspensions, not myself, thanks to Clint Zara, who did the job. He did a good job, honestly. I can't complain because I was mainly riding on tar, so the bike has to be more oriented to ride on tar with the load, like the extra load that I'm putting on it. But unfortunately, when it comes to off-road now, I mean, the front is a bit too stiff, and honestly I'm not feeling very comfortable with the setup. But unfortunately I cannot do much, so I have to get used and ride the bike the way it is. In terms of luggage, I'm running on, I'm using Giant Loop, thanks to Giant Loop and also Throttle and Gear in Malta, who sponsored me with all the gear. So I am having the top of the range around the world, the side luggages and the rollback and also tank back and also the first aid kit. Yeah, I think it's a good piece of kit. There are some things that actually honestly I don't like. I think the rollback, I don't find it very convenient that it opens from the side. I think I would have preferred something opening from the top, so especially if you have something in the middle you can't actually get it. But I have changed also the setup of the luggage, so I have certain things that I shifted some things from the rollback to the side luggages. Yeah, unfortunately, due to the couple of accidents that I had, they sustained some damage. And the first one in Uganda, when I had that fall, it had a small tear, but that's nothing serious. But in the fall I had in Zambia, one of the luggages, it opened wide from the side. I was a bit like surprised. I just noticed that the sewing is not really that much on the side of the luggage. I think Giant Loop should reinforce that section. I don't know. I know that there is a new model similar, but perhaps they have also addressed that. But for the rest, it's doing a good job. Now I also have a problem with the lock of one of the luggages as well, of the opposite one, which is not actually the spring. There's something wrong with the spring, nothing really much serious, but yeah, you know, you don't expect certain things to happen by such a brand. But anyway, like this, for so far, this is the only downside. These are not really fully waterproof, so you need to have the inner liners, because otherwise they leak water too. but they are spacious, so that's something that I like. Yeah, in terms of my riding gear, I am using RST. I have the Adventure X model, thanks to Gordon Moto Dealer in Malta and also to RST, who sponsored me. I think the suit is doing a good job, especially when I had the crash in Zambia. I think it really saved the day, not just the show there, but also saving my skin. Nothing happened to the suit. It wasn't like a big crash, but for sure it saved me from some other injuries. The only thing that I didn't like in the whole suit is basically that the lining, especially on the jacket, it went open from the sewing on both shoulders, and also on the pants on one side. So I think RST should address also that part of their equipment, just to make sure that the sewing is more up to standard. For the rest is good. The only downside, also another downside of this equipment is it's not laminated, so once it gets wet, it gets really heavy. So you have to put on the raincoat on top. So the inner liner, though it is waterproof, it doesn't make sense. You should cover yourself from the outside. So that's my suggestion if you're riding with this kind of riding gear. So far it fits perfectly, so I think it was a perfect size for me. Another thing is like when you're riding and you have your hands on the handlebar, the jacket goes a bit up, and as you can see, you end up with like sunburn. So, but if I took it a size bigger, it would have been too big for me. So the best thing is like to have an under vest which is long enough to cover all your hand if you want to not to have sunburns like I have. So far basically that's it. So just wanted to do a resume about what happened during this last 6 months. So I still have another 2 countries to visit, which are Botswana and South Africa. I'm planning to be around for another 4 months until I finish Africa. Hopefully I will find more adventures, like something. I'm trying to find some more things that might be of interest to me. Unfortunately in Africa there are no particular much places of interest, and if there is, sometimes they are either neglected, especially because during COVID nothing happened, or else they are too far away, or maybe to get to that place might be like very, very difficult. I am not very good, for instance, riding on sand, so sand is like my nightmare, I think. But yeah, I've been on it already here a bit, but I have to be, I feel tensed, so that's something that I have to actually fight against. But then it's not like fun anymore for me, because I'm just getting tense. So yeah, that's the point. But yeah, on the whole, it's still a good adventure. So yeah, it's also nice, so definitely it's a place to come. Africans in general are nice. There are things that obviously for me I cannot understand in the way of doing the culture. Like in Kenya, for instance, I can't understand when it is one of the most developed countries, and then you see they litter everywhere, it's dirty everywhere. And then you see some things that keep repeating themselves, like the issues of these extensive families, like children carrying children. So I'm referring to the two young girls who are already pregnant with 1 or 2 children, which is actually causing more problems to the society. And many other things which I've seen from country to country. And to me, unfortunately, I'm not seeing much development, because also here the governments, unfortunately, they are corrupt. They don't help much their people, and this is a problem that's is recurring in most countries of Africa. But anyway, that's it for now. Please, guys, keep following me. I appreciate that you are following me. Thanks those who subscribe to my channel and those who are following me on social media. Your words of encouragement, the likes, for me they are definitely a boost. I like to receive from you. So yes, please keep doing so, and take care, okay, for the next one. Thank you very much, and keep following me.